by the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Today we walk the path of the dove and serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we have a 5 of swords, right? This is the first position. It's called the station. It reveals our sense of self right now, what we're sort of experiencing in our ego, right? What we are sort of doing when we close our eyes, right? And what are we doing? We're asking questions. Try to figure something out, okay? We are becoming very aware of something that's on our mind. I think every time we kind of close our eyes, every time we get a moment alone, our mind comes back to a certain something, right? You have to ask what this is. What is driving you right now? Where is your attention fixed? This is what you start to think about when there's nothing else really going on. When you have a moment of time to yourself, a moment alone, when you're in the bathroom, right? When you shut your eyes at night, where does your mind go? What do you start thinking about? Because this shows you what your unconscious, in a way, is sort of preoccupied with. Okay? Is there a certain person that your mind always focuses on, a certain subject, a certain task, a certain problem, a certain opinion, a certain belief, right? A certain subject. So we have to ask that question, right? And then we have to wonder, like, why? Why does our mind keep going back to this? What is the message? You know, anytime we get a 5, we start looking for the 4. Anytime we get a 5, it's that body right now. It's the mental body that's saying, "Pay attention to me." It's like pay attention to me. If it's a 5 of Cups, it's your emotions saying, "Hey, pay attention to me." If it's the 5 of Pentacles, it's your body saying, "Hey, pay attention to me." Now, it's your mind saying, "This is what's on my mind. This is what's on me." You know, when we're not busy being busy, this is where our mind goes, okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. This is something that we are always thinking of, you know, that anytime we stop and sort of look at what we're doing, this is something that's always on our mind, okay? We have to ask what that is. Here we have a Princess of Cups. We have a 9 of Swords. We have a Queen of Wands. Well, there's the 4, okay? 4 of Swords. And we have, 10 of Pentacles. Very nice. Over here we have the 8 of Swords. We have a 9 of Pentacles. We have the Devil energy. We have the Star. Ooh, very good. I love the Star. I love the Star especially. This is the card of destiny, in the position of your destiny, right? So you're kind of getting a double hit there of destiny. I like it. And I think that whatever is on your mind right now is something you need to listen to. We're going to select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of this reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below, okay? Let's use our intuition. Now, as we look around the room, we see 2 major arcana, the Devil and the Star, okay? And the Devil is trying to climb that mountain. The Devil is saying, I'm going to do whatever the heck it takes to get my destiny, to get to my star, to get to my destination, to get home, or to get whatever the fulfillment is. We are aggressively following our North Star here, because there's something that your mind is calling attention to, and it might be calling attention to like this, a feeling in a weird way, a desire. It could be that when you stop, when you're not busy being busy, your mind is always coming back to a certain dream, a certain aspiration, okay? Might be involving a younger female energy or a family member, okay? So we have our majors. We got fire. We got that little bit of water. Air, 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 and our earth cards. Okay, so there's an abundance of air, which means we're thinking about this a lot. And the fact that we're thinking about it means that it's not in our life right now. This is something that you want to have in your life. It's either a person, it's a dream, it's an aspiration. This is some kind of a love. This is something that your heart really, really wants to have, wants to feel. Okay, but since it's not here, we feel the pain. We feel this mental anguish. We've got the 5, the 9, the 8 of swords. We got the 4 of swords too. But this now is position 2. It's the battle. This is the event. This reveals your personal task or quest. It shows a situation that is kind of testing your strength and your resolve. It's asking you to become that devil card and go get this. Okay? It's the Princess of Pentacles. This is kind of like the fulfillment of the quest. This is like, you know, this is what we desire more than anything now. And this is something that we want to fight for. And it might be a family member. It might be a kind of a wish, a desire, a hope, a dream, an aspiration. And the fact that you don't have it in your life is hurting. It hurts, right? So the conflict right now is for you to acknowledge what this is and do something to follow this dream. Do something to manifest this. This is an earth and water energy. So it's kind of like saying, you have this desire in your heart. Well, right now we feel a pain because it's absent. We got to do something to bring this into our lives. It's meant to be here. It feels like there's a piece of us that's not present. It feels like we're missing a limb or something, right? And so we need to find some way to bring this heart's desire into our life, to somehow manifest the dream, if this is a hobby or an activity or something that you're not doing, a passion that you're missing. If it's a person that you're missing, reach out to that person. Okay? If it's a relationship that you don't have, reach out and get that relationship. Okay? And it may not be absolutely perfect. We may not be able to put everything back together the way it was, but we can do something to alleviate this heartache. Okay. So how are we responding? This is like something that's calling for our courage, calling for our perseverance, calling us to be that devil energy. So we have to aggressively climb this mountain and follow that starlight. This is meant for you. Okay. This is something that you're not going to be okay with not having in your life, or not doing, or not being a part of, or not at least trying to manifest something. This is the card that's saying, I have a dream, but my heart feels like it is ripped to shreds because I'm not living that dream. I'm not fulfilling it. I don't have it in my life. Okay? It's like, it's like me with the drums. If I'm not playing my drums, there's something missing from my life. But even that may be a very silly and minor example. What if it's, God forbid, what if it's a family member, my wife, my daughter? If I don't have them in my life, right? It's something that's been torn out of me. Okay? And this may be quite serious for you. And I can feel that there is a deep emotional pain here. And I kind of feel like the mind is trying to get you to acknowledge that pain and do something. And now maybe we can't, maybe this is somebody, God forbid, has passed into spirit. We can't do anything to bring them back, right? But we can still find a way to keep them in our life, to stay in contact with that person, to keep them around. Okay? To keep them present and active in our lives. We can still do that. It's not going to look exactly the way it looked before, right? Once, something is severed, you can't put it back perfectly together. We can do our very best. But I think that we have to look at how we feel, because right now we've got all this mental energy. We may wonder why we're feeling so mentally distraught. Well, it's because there is something missing. Okay? And it may be a younger female energy in your life. But this may be more general than that. This may be that dream. This may be that that deep love that you have, that sort of the desires of the inner child, you know. Now, position 3 is part of your soul, right? This is something that we don't always acknowledge. It's beneath the surface. It's your emotional landscape beneath our persona. Okay, this is a wellspring of feelings and memories. It's a 9 of swords. It is misery. It is unhappiness. It is despair. And so this is kind of, I was going to say it's whispering to you, but it may not be whispering now. It may be shouting at you. Something inside of you is shouting this pain of division. This is Mars and Gemini. Something has been separated. Something has been severed from us. Okay? And this is now us realizing that I want this in my life. I need this in my life. That I can't exist without this feeling, this thing, whatever it is. I can't exist without this in my life. And so it is a strong desire for union because we feel the pain of division. Maybe it's a spiritual thing. Maybe it's a romantic thing or a soulmate. Maybe it's a sense of a purpose. If I feel separated from my purpose, I feel the pain and unhappiness. If I'm separated from my soulmate, I feel a pain and an unhappiness. Okay. And so we have to ask this pain, like, what is it that you're seeking? What is the union that you need right now? Okay. And how do we honor this? We don't want to deny the pain. We don't want to push it down. It's always there whenever we stop being busy, right? Whenever we're not busy being busy, we feel this again. So it could be back here with our position 4, our dwarf. It could be that we have kept ourselves very, very busy in order to not have to acknowledge the absence of something or the pain of separation, the pain of division. Okay, now this is position 4, uncovers the past influences. This is some kind of an inertia. It may be a very strict upbringing or a very kind of rough childhood that has pushed your inner child down beneath the surface. It could be that this is an older female energy that has sort of passed into spirit recently and has now brought up all of these old childhood dreams, wishes, fantasies, all of these aspirations, this inner child energy coming to the foreground. Okay, so there's some relationship with this older female energy that a change in this relationship is now making us realize how much we have felt the pain of not being connected with this energy. Different people. If they're people, they're two different people. Okay, but this is something of the old. This is the past. This is some voice that's still kind of echoing in your ear. And this is a very ambitious person. This is somebody that doesn't really care about pleasure or fulfillment or happiness. It's just very, very strict and very abrasive, very unfeeling in a way. Okay, it's a very hard person. Yeah, and it may kind of be us in the past. You know, it may be that we've lived our life as long as we could, not regarding the certain desires or feelings that we've had. Maybe this is a business person, right? Someone who's career-oriented, right? Someone who's very ambitious, very hardworking, you know. Kind of rough, I'd say, this person. And this is sort of denying the water energy. So you don't have a lot of water in your reading today. The water's here. It's new. It's fresh. This feels like a new spring bubbling up. But what it really is, it's an old spring that has now started bubbling up again. And we're no longer pushing it down. Now we're looking at it and we're saying, okay, I feel pain here. What is that pain telling me? We're not going to try to suppress it anymore. See, the Queen of Wands does not like the water energy. Any water energy around, this thing will evaporate it, poof. Like a blazing sun, right? It's just going to, no water anywhere. It's going to be dry. It doesn't like the water because the water could extinguish it. So it's antagonistic to the water. doesn't like the emotions. This is somebody who has a very fiery persona because they don't want to feel their feelings. I think we all know people like that. I think a lot of us have been that person before. Okay? But this is still, this is part of your past now. And so whether this is an older female person, a maternal energy, or maybe that someone that raised you or something like this, or if this is an old version of you, it's not the present energy. Okay? What we have up top, position 5, is the Giant. It's a character card. It reveals your driving force, your dominant motivation, and a personal virtue. Okay? This is a card of truce. This is the card of kind of reconciling the past and sort of honing in on the future. It illuminates what empowers you to move ahead. And it's a card of, again, it's a card of truce. It's a card of forgiveness. It's a card of acceptance and acknowledgement. Okay? And I think acceptance is really that key. It's that card of like taking some deep breaths and closing our eyes and letting ourselves see what's there. Allowing ourselves to feel that pain. It's kind of like we're shutting our mind down a little bit so that we can really acknowledge what's at the core of our problem. What is the root issue here? Okay? And what strengths do we need to embrace in order to move our energy forward and get to our destiny, get our fulfillment? Okay, well, we need tolerance, we need forgiveness, we need acceptance. We need to calm our mind down. We need to have a truce between our present energy and our past self, or between our inner child and our sort of our inner Queen of Wands, the inner mother kind of energy, the dominant force. We need to accept whatever this pain is in our life, because once we accept it, we know how to kind of go about trying to solve it. We have to acknowledge the pain of division so that we can have that joy of union. Okay? So this is that part of you that can be brave and can look inside and see where this pain is coming from and what it means and what it wants. Right? There's pain there because something is hurting, because there's a separation. We have to ask, what is it that we need to unite with? Okay? Now, the next position is position 6, the Imago, the event. The next steps, or your future events, the immediate consequences of your actions. Things are being put back together. The shape of things to come, and it's the 10 of Pentacles. This is wealth. This is like we broke the vase, and then we took it, we glued it back together the best we could. That something broke, and we fixed it to the best of our ability. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look brand new. You're not going to be able to send it back to Amazon and say, I changed my mind. No, it's obviously been broken. There are scars. You can see where things have been glued together. But we do the best that we can. Okay? So we strive not for perfection, but for a union, for a synthesis, for progress. We can't go back to the way things were and put things back together. We can't undo the past. We can't change anything that's already happened or any decisions we've already made, but we can put things together in a new way, in the very best way that we can. This is the card of our best life. Not our perfect life, but our best one. Right? Our best one, the best that we can do right now. That's what we do. Okay? And this is wealth. And this is where our path leads. It's putting things back together. It's a union or a reunion. Okay? So we know this is what we want. And now that we know what the goals are, we have to, we know what the future state is. Now we can choose our behaviors. We can sort of take actions in order to repair things, put things back together. Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is position 7. This is the persona. This is 8 of Swords. It's overanalysis. It's interference. It's sort of, again, it's like we keep our mind so occupied that we're not focusing on what the problem really is. And this is the way we present ourselves to other people. So we may be very overly intellectual. You may be feeling a lot more analytical or logical than usual. And I think people kind of see you as somebody, it's almost like people can tell that there's something else going on with you. You know, it's almost like we have a problem sitting still. We have a problem being quiet and closing our eyes and just being, right? So it's almost like we're trying to avoid something. It's kind of like when your neighbors are playing their music really loud, or remember back in the day when your parents used to fight and you'd put your headphones on and you'd try to turn up the volume on your little Walkman cassette tape on your hip. You'd try to turn the volume up so you couldn't hear your parents fighting. It's kind of what it feels like. It feels like we're trying to occupy ourselves with a lot of busyness, a lot of mental preoccupation, so that we don't really hear that voice coming from within that says, I'm hurting because I'm separated from something that I need. Okay? And so this is something that we have to realize that this isn't serving us anymore, so what we need is that 4 instead. Okay, makes sense, going from an 8 to a 4. This isn't serving our higher truth any longer. This is no longer a mask that we need to turn the radio down, turn it all the way off, because we have to listen to that inner fighting so that we can know like what the issue is and how we can put things back together. Okay. The next position is position 8. It's the shadow. It's sort of the external events or influences from the environment that are kind of provoking us to act. Okay. And this is a card of gain. This is a card of progress. This is the card that that kind of says, I need to be okay with, see, we're going from a 9 of Swords, which is despair, to a 9 of Pentacles, which is saying, I'm doing something about it. I know things won't be perfect, and once I acknowledge what this is, now I can do something about it. Okay? So first we have to feel that pain and feel the pain of division, right? The misery of separation. And of course, knowing that our goal isn't perfection, but progress, healing, and kind of a restoration, right? A repair. Now we can embrace that pain of division because it's motivating us to action. Okay? So these external challenges now, we know that they're worth going through. So whether this is about us pursuing a love or a purpose, finding what we want in life, reconnecting or reuniting with something or someone in our lives, okay, we're willing to do the work now. And we understand why we need to do it and what to expect of it. Things can't be perfect, okay? But we can make progress. And every step forward now is a step in the right direction. Yeah. The next card is the Spectre. It shows our fear, worry, concern, hidden anxieties, and that sort of thing. It's the part of ourself that really is challenging our growth, and it's the devil energy. Okay, and on the one hand, it's the lone mountain goat. So the fear is that we will just kind of we'll continue to age, and we'll continue to feel more and more separated from that which is truly needed in our life. Right? This is the devil that falls straight down and is separated from God, right? And so this feels like this is us sinking further and further into this material world and just accepting that life is suffering and that we are just cursed and doomed and that we are, you know, we're sinners who are meant to suffer, right? Rather than taking steps to repair the relationship. Okay? So the fear is that that we deserve this pain, and that it's a punishment for something, right? But this card is really showing the key, right? This is kind of like telling us what we have to face in order to step into our power. We've got to get control of this energy, and we've got to aggressively climb this mountain. That we have to take our human free will, our power, and we have to do something about it. We don't have to acquiesce. We don't have to just accept this as some kind of punishment. That we can take steps forward to fulfill our destiny, to follow our star, and start to put some pieces back together to get that sense of wholeness again. Okay? Whether this is a person, a place, a thing, a spiritual energy, it doesn't matter. But the devil is that card that says, I've got to climb the mountain, that I've got to put in the work. I'm not just going to exist in this miserable state, right? I'm going to do something. So we have position 10, the destiny. the projected culmination of your quest. And this is the guiding light. I feel like you're orienting your life toward your North Star. You know where you're headed. You know who you are. You know why you're here. And we're pulling ourselves up out of this pit of despair, and we are striving after wholeness. And we're aligning our actions with this destiny. What do you need to do to start following this path? Because this is something that you're meant to achieve a union with whatever this energy is. If it's us healing internally, if it's us reconciling with something outside of us, a person, a place, a thing, an entity, a spiritual energy, whatever it is, this is our path. This is our destiny. This is our work here on this plane right now. Okay? So what do you have to do to align yourself to fulfill your highest potential? Let's look at the mystery card. This is position 11. This is the guide, right? It reveals your higher self, your inner teacher. It shows the character qualities you have to develop in order to walk the path ahead. Okay? Maybe forgiveness, maybe it's courage, maybe it's, maybe it's love and compassion, right? Whatever you think it's going to be, put it in the comments. I think it's going to be some water energy. Let's see what we have. Another 9 of Swords. This is what we have to embrace. This is the character qualities. It has to be like an acknowledgement. It has to be an acceptance that we're missing something in life. We have to acknowledge that there is this pain of division, that we are separated from something that we need. An essential part of ourself is missing, and we've got to find it. So it shows those character qualities that we have to develop. And that's a willingness to feel the feeling, to acknowledge the pain. Okay? And this is the voice of your soul's truth. What message does your higher self offer you here? Okay? This is the card that's saying, we're losing sleep at night. Why? What is it that's missing? What is your unconscious self? What is your higher self? What is your true soul telling you need in your life that you don't have, and that is the source of your pain right now? All right? So this is not an easy card, but messages from the higher self are not always easy. They're not always pleasant, okay? But this is the acknowledgement of something. This is the acceptance of, so this is us saying, okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. Yeah. So please let the lessons of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror, each station a temple of transformation, alternating between who you're becoming and the world you're creating. Remember that the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the patterns of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your path, please share your reflections below. Together we journey onward, ever upward, and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Leo, usually Tuesdays and Saturdays. This is a bonus reading. I feel like it was not easy, but it was necessary. All right. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.